I'm Tristan Jensen, this is my partner Brandon Storbo. Today we are going to be talking about the dangers of social media. He will be talking about cyberbullying and I will be talking about social media addiction. So without further ado, here's Brandon.
How many of you guys have used your phone in about the last hour? How many of those were on social media? Okay, so odds are one of you guys, out of all the friends that you have on social media, has either been cyberbullied or thought about suicide due to cyberbullying. It's become one of the overlooked dangers of social media due to this whole 21st century technological advance situation that we're all in here. We rely so much upon it, and it's the most overlooked danger. And today I'm going to be talking to you about what exactly it is, how we can all prevent it, and what our lives will be like if we don't have it anymore. So to begin, the main areas that it happens are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and most people think that it's limited to just that, but any text or phone call that's harmful or threatens someone can be considered cyberbullying. So any post, text, or phone call that you send that is mean, hurtful, intimidating, or harmful to another victim or individual is defined as cyberbullying. So according to the Megan Meier Memorial Suicide Foundation for Cyberbullying, research done by the National Center for Education Statistics in 2013 said that 71.9% of 9th through 12th graders reported being targeted by cyberbullying throughout the course of out of their high school career. 19.6 report being targeted monthly, and 3.1 experience it daily. And out of all of these victims, 56.9 of the victims did not tell their parents or an authoritative figure. So it's become a big problem because not only are kids being bullied, they don't have anybody to tell, which is another big thing that I'll talk about later. So some of the major signs of it are isolation. So kids who are targets of cyberbullying like to isolate themselves. And this results in them not going to class, poor academic performance, and ultimately it can lead to depression. And according to Dr. Phillips Langford in his article, Cyberbullying, How Technology Can Be Used to Battle Itself, kids who are bullied online are often bullied in person as well, which results in a harder time getting away from the behavior. Cyberbullying is nearly impossible to escape because it can happen 24/7 and it puts the victim in a vulnerable state at all hours of the day. Unlike traditional bullying, it can happen anonymously, which can make it impossible to track back to the perpetrator. So one of the big concerns that experts have with cyberbullying is the kids who are affected by it are also bullied in person. So when they go home, they don't have a safe place because they can't go on their phones, their computers, because they'll also be bullied and targeted while they're at home. So that's why cyberbullying is so much more dangerous than traditional bullying, is because kids never truly get away from it. So they always have this sense of vulnerability when they're at home even, which is supposed to be the safest place for kids to go. Okay, so the disorders that it causes ultimately are depression and anxiety, but statistics have shown that 65,000 kids in the United States will commit suicide every year, and of those 65,000 in 2014, 9,000 of them were related to social media and cyberbullying ultimately, and that's only the ones that we know. A lot of suicides are kind of left unclear, so of those 65,000, 9,000 are related to social media. So now that we have seen what exactly cyberbullying is, I'm going to talk to you guys about how we can prevent it. And first, on an individual level, you can report it if you see it. You can report individual cases to the online service provider. And in the USHH government anti-bullying article titled Effects of Cyberbullying, the government agency wrote in 2014, the major keys to stopping cyberbullying are through immediate action, such as not responding, keeping the evidence, and blocking the perpetrator, as well as reporting the online service providers, reporting actions to law enforcement in cases of violence, stalking, and hate crimes, and lastly, reporting all incidents to school when behaviors are impacting the student's learning environment. So the biggest thing is stopping it immediately. However, in order to get the problem to go away, we need to do something more than just on an individual basis. So the biggest thing is getting the word out. There's a viral video. It's not quite viral yet. People are making a big push for it, and it's by a campaign called Stomp Out Bullying. It's the biggest organization for cyberbullying in America, and it's an awareness video about what exactly cyberbullying is. So it's good to share that and get the word out. And Dr. Hayes, in his article Stomp Out the Drama, Stomp Out Bullying, published by Stomp Out Bullying, the leading national anti-bullying organization in 2013, he wrote, "The best way for you to get involved is a Stomp Out Bullying team membership. Talk to your school and get your school's permission to start a peer mentoring organization funded by Stomp Out, where you can bring your entire school together to stop the bullying. It begins with students across the U.S. to take a stand and feel great being a part of the solution instead of the problem." So the biggest thing that we can do is to get it out on a wider scale. If one person can make it aware to, say, 50 people instead of just one, or if you share a video and it goes to all 1,000 of your Facebook friends, that can make a much bigger impact than if you're just reporting a single case here or there across Facebook or wherever it may be. So it's important to make this impact on a wider basis. And lastly, what our lives can be like without it. So we all use social media as kind of an outlet. It keeps us in tune, it keeps us, there's fun things we can do online, but if you're scared to log into your Facebook because there might be somebody sending something hateful to you, or you might see it from one of your friends, it kind of makes the online environment dangerous for everybody or less enjoyable. So if we're able to stomp this out, we can have more fun while we're on the internet, as well as keeping other people safer who are at risk. And even though you might not be a target of the bullying, somebody that you know probably has been at some point, and you can make a difference in their life by helping make it more aware. So, aside from this, there's a need for help in our online community, and we can all make a change by understanding what cyberbullying is and knowing how we can prevent it. That can be the biggest way that we can make a safer environment for ourselves on the internet and for everyone else. So I challenge all of you to take a stand against cyberbullying, and instead of being one of the people who's being targeted or one of the 9,000 parents in America that's at their own kid's funeral, you can share a video and possibly save the life of someone else. Now that I've covered cyberbullying, Tristan's going to talk about the addiction of social media.
How many of you use social media at least twice a day, or at least check it? So all of us. Millions of people use social media every day. In fact, according to the Next Web, in 2014, Facebook passes 1.23 billion monthly active users, 945 million mobile users, and 757 million daily users. That's over 1/7 of the population use Facebook on a monthly basis. Through research of scholarly articles and journals, I have learned about the effects of social media addictions and the harmfulness of social media in general and the constant use of it. I believe that social media addiction is becoming a problem in today's society, even though some people don't recognize it as being a problem. Today I'll talk about how social media disconnects us from others, and also ways we can help fix this. So, social media can disconnect us face-to-face with others. We're removing that interaction, like talking to each other. Instead, we just tweet at somebody or direct messages to each other, and that kind of limits our understanding. How many of you have been talking through text message or Facebook, and then you don't understand what the person actually meant because it wasn't clear, and you can't understand what emotion they're trying to convey to you, whether it be sarcasm or if they're angry or not? A lot of us lose that kind of emotional sense, and it kind of harms us. So according to Jennifer L. Klein, Losing Face, How Facebook Disconnects Us, from Counseling Today, published on September 1st, 2014, online relationships, on the other hand, provide opportunities for less risky interactions. That also requires less giving of oneself. An online interaction does not require that we compromise our needs of delay gratification, because friends are always on Facebook, and when we're finished with them, we can simply click off. It kind of excludes us from our friends, because how often do you talk to all your friends on Facebook, all 1,000 of your friends? How often do you connect with them through a daily basis? I'm guessing not much. And also, social media also hides the info, the important events going on. A lot of times, there'll just be random videos of somebody getting punched or cat pictures, and it's really hard from the truth of the world and what's going on in other countries and what's kind of going on in America, and that kind of hides it from us, and we're kind of losing the bigger picture of things. And then another one from Jennifer L. Klein of Losing Face, How Facebook Disconnects Us. from Counseling Today, published on September 1st, 2014. The ability to make meaningful interpersonal connections is of profound importance to our health, our psychological health. Rather than promoting social connections, as Facebook posts, social media technology separates people from the relational and promotes the individualistic and narcissistic. Self-interest ultimately leads to a loss of self and a decreased awareness of others. Eventually, we are unable to see and fully experience the humanity of others, creating the psychological distance. So that's kind of how it kind of harms us. Also, the cyberbullying aspect, there's a darker side. The more you're on there, the more likely you are to be targeted. But don't lose hope, because there are ways to reduce it. Simply limiting your social media usage to once a day can help you kind of wean down on it and get rid of that addiction that exists in our lives. Also, having more face-to-face interactions, simply calling somebody or talking to them will help you remember the important things. Because I am guessing most of you don't remember some conversation you had on Facebook, unlike some conversation you had at one sleepover or something when you were kids. It kind of gets rid of that memory aspect and disconnects us. According to Chandra Johnson of FaceTime versus Screen Time, the technological impact on communications, from Desert News National, published on August 29, 2014. In an age with more methods than ever to talk online, researchers are now studying whether this is changing the way people communicate. They're finding people communicate more often with friends and family because of technology, but the quality of communication may be weaker. And in that article, they talked about how kids are not really understanding emotional values, because they do it all throughout online and you can't really convey emotion through that. So some benefits from reducing your social media would be it increases your relationships with others, because I know I prefer somebody talking to me rather than just like messaging me on Facebook or posting on my wall. It's also nicer. Also, it opens your eyes to the world. Instead of losing yourself in those cat videos and stuff, you can find what's really going on in the world and how life around us is affecting us. So in conclusion, I showed you how social media addiction disconnects us from the world, ways we can benefit, or ways we can stop it, and how that will benefit our lives. I think it's a big problem in today's society, and I believe you should also see it as a problem. And next time, I challenge you, the next time you're on social media, to try to spend less time of it and really open your eyes to the outside world to see what's really going on. Thank you. Any questions?
You ever been bullied on social media?
I personally haven't, but I've seen it happen. So
What did you do about it?
I did nothing because I didn't realize how big of a deal it was at the time. And after researching it, I kind of opened my eyes to how big of a problem it actually can be. Yeah.
So why do you think that we should help end cyberbullying before we stop social media addiction?
Well, I think personally that cyberbullying is a bigger threat because it harms other people instead of yourself. Sounds kind of, so if you're addicted to social media, you're harming yourself, but if you're bullying someone on the internet, you're harming them. And if they, were to take it far enough to take their own life, then you're affecting a whole network of people, their family and their friends. So I think that cyberbullying is a little bit more important, and I think that the biggest thing for us is just to raise awareness about it and limit it. Sure.
So when you found out one of your friends is getting cyberbullied, what would you do?
I'd report it and then I'd talk to them. I think the other big thing is talking to the people if you know them personally. I know there's a lot of people on the internet that you're not that close with, but if it is somebody that you personally know, you should try to help them out and reach out to them before it's too late.
What do you think would be like the most effective way for people to kind of help if they have like social media addiction?
I know there's counseling that can help, and simply just talking to others in real life and just going outside and